comedian Omid Djalili is heading off on tour later this year. But actually, you don't have to wait until then, because today his 2020 Good Times show is on our screens.
Some things during the pandemic prepared us for crises. You know, we had the petrol crisis before, we got the cost of living crisis coming up. But you see, none of it, we're prepared, because none of it compares to the awful and scary, nightmarish toilet paper shortage of March 2020, where you couldn't get toilet paper for love nor money. Remember, there were videos of people fighting. A woman wanted to buy all of it. Can I take one? Get your own! I didn't buy toilet paper for 6 weeks. I used toast.
You did not. It's so good to see you, Omid. How are you?
Thank you. Look at that. I'm down with the kids now. I'm on this. Thank you for pushing the stream. I'm on a stream, and would you be with Radiohead, with Little Mix, Kylie Minogue?
You're all there on the screen. Well,
I'm down with the kids.
You've always been cool. Let's be honest.
Well,
effortlessly cool.
Cool for a certain audience. My audience has kind of grown with me. I had some people who were offended by a joke recently, but they were too young. And then when we got into it, I realised they thought that Simon and Garfunkel was a Jewish law firm.
So you have to be careful what you're doing. You really do. Looking ahead,
yes,
you've gone all Zen.
Yes, I have.
Or have you? Because the next tour is going to be called NAMASTE.
That's right.
Which, of course, is peace, tranquility.
Well, look at the picture.
All of that. But you don't look very peaceful and tranquil there.
The way it works, you do a photo shoot, and then I always send it to my manager, Nigel, who's just so funny. And he just said, well, namaste, Omid. Like that. I thought that's the name of the tour.
Ah, that's how you got it. So you're not going to be Zen. Is it more about you being cross?
Well, I am cross. I'm very cross.
I think we're all cross,
I think we're all cross and very upset.
Yes.
We were in pandemic and we thought the world come together at last. And then there's a war in Ukraine.
I know.
You know, Israel, Palestine. We think, no, that's not what we want. I thought we'd all come together. And I think the idea of comedians is that you channel your inner anger, but you control it so that you do stuff that's palatable for an audience. And, and through laughs, you make sense of what's going on in the world.
Do you know, you often can do that. It's absolutely right. Nothing off limits for you. Do you ever sort of self-censor, or do you just think, no, actually, everything's up for comedy?
I think if you come from the right place, everything is up for comedy.
Yeah,
you know, one thing I don't do is make fun of people suffering. That's one thing I don't do.
No,
but in general, I think everything's up for grabs, and if you can get laughs from anything, you should have the right to try and do it.
I think you're right. And also, you do use your voice, though. You've done an amazing work standing up, particularly for women in Iran. And, you know, just because the media spotlight is not on this particular issue at this point doesn't mean it's gone away. It hasn't at all. It hasn't at all. The struggle continues.
Well, the lionesses in Iran...
They're amazing women.
People have no idea how brave they are. Because, you know, the hijab is a religious thing, but it's not mandatory. But in that regime, it is mandatory. And if you don't wear it properly, you get shot in the face, you get put into prison, you get killed. So the women of Iran are saying, we are fighting for the right to choose how we would like to dress.
Of course, if you want to, that's fine.
Exactly.
Of course it is.
So you see videos of policemen saying, put your hijab on. They goes, you better go or we're going to film you and put your dress online. And the police run away. So the women are actually winning this fight at the moment.
Oh, I hope they are. And it's brilliant that you're speaking up for them. It really is. I know it's important to you to do that, because we need to keep focusing on these issues. They don't go away just because we've stopped looking at them, you know?
We don't go away, and I think that's why it's important to highlight these things, and also with my live stream tonight, which you can get on my... There's a link on my Instagram page, on my bio. And we're also raising money for Gaza, because I think what's happening is that the way the algorithm of life works is that anger and division really gets likes. So people are doing that, whereas, in fact, we know with wars, blood does not get washed away with more blood. And that is an absolute fact.
Really good point.
Complete fact. So what we're doing, we've buddied up with Choose Love, which is a wonderful charity. So with the stream tonight, there's an opportunity to, you know, give money for refugees in Gaza.
People who need it.
And also there are T-shirts you can buy for Women Life Freedom. There are lots of things you can do to try and help. So I think it's very important that we don't just sit around. We try and do something to help.
That's the thing, isn't it? Sometimes you feel very helpless.
Yes.
If you can even just do one wee thing, then, you know, that's...
Everyone says, what do we do? What do we do? I said, well, that's what I thought, what can I do? They said, well, why don't you release... I'm doing a bit of a Dave Chappelle where I filmed the show, and then I'm now going to put it on this... Drift is a fantastic streaming service, and that way we can raise money for all these fantastic causes.
I think that's really good, and that's using it in the right way. You know, it really is. I mean, for you, when was the kind of big breakthrough? Would it have been live at the Apollo? Was that the thing that really sprung you.
I think so.
That's about 20 years ago.
That was, yeah, I've actually tweeted I look like a mentally ill person. There's a disco dancing routine, which I'd never seen it before, and I was horrified.
So don't remember doing that?
And actually, I got my kids to cut out the bits where I'm struggling to get to the microphone, because most of it, I'm out of breath. And they said, my daughter would say, why should we cut that? That's the funny bit with you struggling to speak. But it was 20 years ago what I did live at the Apollo. And even before that, after 9/11, before the days of cancel culture, I was cancelled just by being a Middle Eastern person. So I think comedy is such an important and powerful tool to be able to reclaim and actually make sense of everything. So it was, I reacted to 9/11 by doing a comedy show.
No, exactly. And, well, I mean, listen, part of the establishment, the Queen loved you. And Prince Charles. Well, it's King Charles now, of course. But the Queen, you made her laugh. You were one of the last people, just before she passed on.
It's official. I got a letter from Windsor that I was the last person to make her laugh in public. Obviously, apart from Liz Truss. But I think there's always been...
I bet she did as well.
It was interesting because I've somehow been able to roast King Charles, when it was Prince Charles.
Yes.
And after, I think, the 5th time I did it, in the lineup, he said to me, have I offended you in some way? Have I insulted your family? Have I insulted your country in some way? I said, why are you asking? He said, you always seem to have a go at me. I said, it's just a bit of banter. He goes, OK, well, as long as that's clear. It's very funny, but I just want to make sure I haven't offended you.
Oh, God love him.
He's wonderful.
Yeah, it's good. We're going to see you in Midsummer Murders.
Oh, my God.
Now, look.
Oh, you have to see the picture.
Martine McCutcheon got killed by a giant cheese in Midsummer Murders. Are you getting bumped off in a strange way that you can't really tell us? God, you don't look like yourself.
That doesn't look like me at all.
That? That's not you.
It's the first time I've got a reaction from the cameraman. Oh, my God. I said, I'll do it as long as I can wear a wig. And when I got there was no wig. I said I was not joking. So they went and found all these wigs, and we found one that worked.
Yeah, I think you look pretty good there.
I play a very, very intense antique shop owner.
Oh.
Who is actually one of the main suspects, but I can't say if he did it or not.
Oh, no, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I don't know when it's coming out. It was already shown in Australian television, and people went nuts. I got all these tweets saying, oh, my God, what a fantastic episode.
I love that. It's wonderful. Well, look, the new tour, Namaste, begins in October, but tonight we can stream you and enjoy you.
Yes, it's Persian New Year as well, which is why I did it.
Happy New Year.
Persian New Year, you can go and stream this show. It's a link in my bio.
Good.
I think the whole point of Persian New Year, it's the first day of spring, so it's a time of refreshment, it's a time of purity and spreading peace.
Good times.
Peace and unity.
Good times. That makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you so
much. Great to see you.